All right, I've got 2 minutes after. Let's get started. So welcome everybody to the Zoe system demo. This is for it's for the 2.5 release. And I only see one presenter. So I see Amber, you're on. You can start presenting at any time.
Hello. Um, I have a pre-recorded video from Jean Johnson to start. If you guys don't mind giving me a second to pull it up.
All right. And I'll ask everybody else to go on mute if you're not speaking.
Okay.
All right. So I see the video, but I don't hear any audio so far.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Hmm. Not sure what to do about that actually. 1 minute?
Sure, go ahead. Not sure if anybody on the call knows how to set that up.
I believe there's like a checkbox when you share the screen that like says allow audio to go through or something like that.
That's correct.
All right, let me try one more time. Okay, I see.
I will show you
Do you guys hear Jean?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, great.
a new Zowe CLI command that we recently published. Its purpose is to provide diagnostic information about a customer's working environment. We often get requests for help that are the equivalent of, I ran a command and it got this error. The error might be from the mainframe, or the error might state that you cannot even communicate with the mainframe. Typically, there's not one single answer for every error message. The answer is often determined by what the user has done over the past several weeks in setting up and configuring Zowe CLI. Our new command displays a summary of information about the user's working environment. And the command is pretty simple. Let me type that in. Takes no options, so it's a pretty simple command. I want to generate a report about my working environment. Our command gathers information from multiple sources. For one set of information, we run a number of npm commands. Those commands take a while, so while we wait, we display a progress bar. When the npm actions are done, the screen will scroll on us, so I'll then go back and describe what has been displayed. We display the version number of the CLI and of Node.js the user is running. We identify the operating system the user is running in. We show the value of the user's path. We show environment variables related to Zowe. The Zowe CLI home directory does not have to be set, and if it's not set, we display the default location. We show if the variables that control Zowe logging have been set, and we show all Zowe environment variables that may be overriding profile options. The Zowe variable's name, Zowe underscore opt underscore, and the following name could be the name of any option coming from any of your profiles, so you can override it with that environment variable. I made a couple up like A and B just to show we'll pick up everything. If the name of the variable happens to contain the word password or token, we display 6 stars instead of the actual value. Otherwise, you get the value of your options, or of your environment variables, I should say. We display information about NPM that they're running. like the NPM version number, the configuration file locations, and the NPM registries that will be used. Information about the Zowe CLI configuration. We show whether or not the daemon is running. And if the daemon is on, we show a couple of extra pieces of information. We also indicate whether the customer's using old style V1 profiles or a V2 team configuration. The information is displayed slightly differently between those two configuration types. For a V2 configuration, we show the Zowe config files that are in effect. You can create multiple config files and place them in different locations. One config file can override the values of another. Users have created multiple files, forgotten that they have multiple configurations, and then state that the Zowe command does not use the values from the one configuration file that they remember. This output says that multiple config files are affecting your command. We show your default profiles. Sometimes people forget which profile they set as their default, so their command goes to an unintended system or port. So this shows you at least the names of the profiles that are being used by default, and then we follow that up with all of the profile names that the user has defined. And finally, we list the set of plugins that the user has installed, so we know, exactly which plugins and what versions they're at. Now, my configuration has no known problems as I've got it set up currently, but there is logic within this command to detect a few known incompatibilities that can cause Zowe commands to fail. I configured such errors into my environment previously and saved the output of this command, so let me display a snippet of that output. You'll get a warning message if you're running an unsupported version of Node.js. If your log level has an invalid value, we'll give you a warning message. And if your version of NPM is a version that has known problems, that as an error as well. To get such information prior to this command, we had to ask the customer to type many different commands. Some of those commands are unfamiliar to customers, and we even need to spell commands when we're on a conference call. With possibly a dozen different commands, this becomes pretty time-consuming. Our new command is like one-stop shopping, and it's pretty easy to type in. I think that running this command could become a standard first step for our support and development teams to ask a customer who's requesting help. And I hope that once customers learn that we'll ask them to run this command, they'll run the command themselves and maybe see their own problem before even opening an issue. So that's everything I have to say about this new command. Do you have any comments or questions?
I'm not sure if I should continue on with the video. There seems to be a question or two. If you guys would like to hear, I could keep playing it.
Are you able to pause the video and then answer the questions?
Personally, probably cannot answer the questions. I'm relatively new.
Okay.
No worries. We can stop the video there if you guys have any questions, for sure. Feel free to ask them here.
Fernando will answer, yes.
Okay.
We'll do our best, yeah. Any questions, any comments? That was a nice video, actually, by the way. Any thoughts? You find this helpful?
Well, I agree with what he said at the end, that it seems like the type of it would be useful for support teams to ask customers to run.
Yeah, I
And
also
even
think, I'm sorry, Fernando, for any admins, DevOps admins or folks within organizations that are responsible for the upkeep of the CLI, for example, having this command, I think, will be very helpful for those folks as well.
And for people, for example, like opening issues, we do have a template now, and I know other projects in Zowe are standardized and having templates. This would be a very useful command. Just, hey, run this command and post the output, or check out the command, right? Just as a reminder, and they might be able to find their issue before they even open the issue, right?
I have a question.
Yep.
This command is only available with the latest release. You cannot request the customer who's running the previous release to run this command. Is that correct?
That is right. The command, they will have to update the CLI to, I believe, 780. Let me confirm the version number for you, though. At least that and above, right? But yeah, you're correct. They will have to update the CLI.
Thank you.
To this version. Any other questions? Yep, 780 or above. If no other questions, Amber, if you want to continue with the next demo.
Sure. I'll share a different screen now. Okay. All right. So this is now about a new command called modify. And pretty much there was, this command is to extend the CLI's capability for managing jobs. So holding or releasing a job is not something that you could previously do with the CLI. And we got a request to release or programmatically release a held job. So that's pretty much what I'll be sharing with you guys today. So yeah, previously you would have to go into SysView and check out whether or not your job was held or released. And now you can both change this and view it at the same time, or view what you've done at the same time. So I have this little baby job that I've run. It's a sleeping job. And we're in Zowe Explorer right now. So at least that's what the side panel is. But if I were to pull up our web help for the new command, this modify job command, it will probably open in a different window. So 1 second. You can see that the command has a required job ID, and then you can change 3 different options. You can change its job class. You can change whether or not you want to hold or release this job. So what this looks like is, I think going back here, oh, actually, I think I ran the wrong test job, but it doesn't quite matter. In running this command, I've changed its job class from B to A. That's an example of how this can be used. I can also release the job because I think I've held it prior to this demo. So change the job class and release it at the same time. And then say I changed my mind and I'd like to hold the job. Well, here you go. Pretty much the total functionality of this new command. Oh, I also brought up sysview. Sorry, almost forgot. And if I were to refresh the job queue, this verifies pretty much that the job is held and that it's also class C. Going back, job number 93806 is represented as being held in class C. So you can verify on the mainframe that you actually have changed what you've expected to change. Yeah. That is my demo. I'm not the best presenter, I apologize.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, you're doing great, Amber. Just a quick question on that. Obviously, well, I'm going to say, obviously, if I do not have the authority to make those mods on such a job, I would receive an error message, I'm assuming.
There, I don't quite know how to answer that because I don't think there's restrictions on whether or not you can hold or release a job.
I believe they are tied to the security product profiles, or yeah, they're like RACF, ACF2, TSS profiles. And if you're not the owner of the job, you might not be able to change classes and possibly not be able to hold and release them.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm stressed.
Yeah, you're probably thinking of your own jobs, which you have full authority over.
Right.
But if you were to try this against, production job, right? Your access would be limited. Just want to confirm that.
Yes.
Okay, super. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Amber? Okay, let me then open it up to the other people on the call. Are there any other topics that anybody would like to present? All right, then, if there are no other topics, then we can end the call early today. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Have a nice day.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Nick.
Amber.
You too.
Yeah,
Happy holidays.
thank you.
Bye.
Happy holidays.